Greetings. It's Eric Bakker, the Naturopath from New Zealand. Thanks for coming back. This is a question I get asked nearly every day, and I have so for a long time. How do I go about consulting you? How do I go about seeing someone like you? I need to see a naturopath, but I want to find someone who's got some passion, who's got some understanding or knowledge, who'll take the time and talk to me about problems. We'll have a good think about the case. And well, as you probably know, I'm retired. I retired in November 2019 after 34 years. I was basically done. But I had so many people after that, and still do, wanting to see me. But there comes a time when you can't keep on doing what you're doing. You need to back off and do other stuff. And I come to that period. Okay, so please don't ask me if I can see you, because it's probably going to be no, or likely going to be no. Well, it is going to be no. Okay, so how do you go about finding somebody else? Well, you probably need to make inquiries to begin with. All right, what I would do, no matter what country you are in, is to look at associations. That's the first thing you do. Look at different types of associations. Look at natural medicine associations. Look at naturopathic associations. So try and find someone to begin with who's qualified, because not everyone in our industry is qualified. That's not saying there aren't some brilliant people out there who've never studied. Okay, some of them, probably the cleverest people I know in our business, never went to college. They basically were self-taught. That sounds a bit sick, but some of the best musicians, some of the best painters were self-taught. I mean, medicine is an art. It really is an art, and it's a science too, but it is an art. And particularly a long time ago, it was more of an art than a science. Today, it's too much bloody science and not enough art. That's the problem. But a doctor is someone who takes his or her time and spends time with you. But unfortunately today, that time comes at a cost. Okay, I always tried to keep my cost right down as much as I could. In spite of the fact I had a lot of overheads, I still charged $200 for a visit. New Zealand bucks. I think 250 New Zealand bucks in the end. Don't look for someone who's going to charge a certain price. Look more for the person rather than what you're paying. Okay, because sometimes quality, if you want to see someone for good work, it may come at a higher or lower cost. Just because someone charges a bit less, it doesn't mean to say that they're no good. And just because someone charges way too much, it doesn't mean anything at all. It could mean they're a complete scammer, but it could also mean that they're really good. Okay, so that's something that you have to judge. All right, but as I mentioned, medicine isn't cheap, and particularly in some countries it's very expensive. Also be prepared for testing, because without testing it's like going to sea without a map or a compass. Next thing you end up on the rocks. So you need some sort of guidance. You need to find someone who will try and perform some medical checks on you, or ask you things about blood pressure, wanting to look at blood tests, wanting to know a lot about your lifestyle, about your diet, about the type of person that you are. That's an inquiring doctor. So you want to find someone who inquires, right? Because all those inquiries make up a profile of a person who's got the problem that that person's trying to solve. Okay. So unfortunately with medical doctors, you don't get that. You get in there, you sit down, they pick up a big book, they try and find the sickness and the pill. And to me, that's not really medicine. Okay, that's paint by numbers. All right, there's no real rapport there. So sometimes with patients, I've said to them, have you been to different doctors? Have you worked out who you can talk to, who listens to you, who wants to know about your problems, someone who's good in your field? Because medicine's a big area, right? It's not a little narrow corridor, it's a big area. So a good doctor will have some understanding on relationships, psychology, microbiology, okay, pathophysiology, muscles, bones, all that kind of stuff. It takes a long time to be a good doctor. And be prepared to pay. That's the problem. Okay, the cost is going to be a factor. Go to the associations, inquire, but more than anything, go to health food shops, or go to some naturopaths that live around you, and they'll soon talk to you, and you'll soon work out, well, hang on, this lady's quite nice, or this is a bit of a shaman over here, or I don't like this one. So if you don't like the person or haven't got a good feel for it, it's not going to work. All right, but you will find someone. Try and get somebody with experience, in my opinion. But guess what? You can have a lot of experience when you're 25 and you can have none when you're 50. It's the person. You've got to find the right person. That's what it is. And you'll find that person. If you keep looking, you'll always find what you're looking for. All right? Thanks for tuning in.